So here you go, guys, on YouTube. Here's a video today of Robert Nuttall, who has not been playing golf that long, actually. I've been teaching his dad, and this now is his second lesson. I've been teaching his dad all the way through the winter, and I always remember him telling me a story when he first started that a lot of players call him vanilla. And I was like, why do they call it vanilla? He said it's like a vanilla slice. So he used to have a horrendous slice, but now he doesn't. Anyway, his son has started to come for lessons, and the improvement of Robert in a week is incredible, and I honestly mean this. Please watch this, because you will be amazed at the changes that he's made. What's the actual handicap at the moment, Robert? What's your 13 handicap, right? Might have a new mid-handicap tester if this continues, because he's absolutely ripped it today. This was last week on the left-hand side. We had Storm Doris in last week, so it was we had the simulator down. It was a cold, windy day. And what we see first in Robert's swing, Robert was just finding that he was not very consistent. He was losing consistency in the golf swing and therefore losing accuracy and distance, etc. And I put it down to a couple of big factors. One of them being the grip was very mixed up. Left hand was weak, right hand was trying to be strong, and we've changed that today, even though you can't really see it from the front, this line, down the line view. I just want to show you something more important to this. But it was this takeaway. As the club was moving away from the ball, the club was moving quite a long way behind him. The hands were moving in a way where the wrists weren't hinging, and it was affecting downswing consistency. Let me show you why I mean that. So if I just pop a circle around that club head, you can see how the club head is very deep and behind the hands here. If I just put a circle there, the club then carries on moving behind and then starts to be picked up by his arms. And that just wasn't working for me there, I'm afraid. It was like getting to the top of the swing, and it looks alright at the top, but how it was getting there just wasn't working. Left arm was bent quite a bit, club face was closed, wrist angle was trying to stay cupped. It's just all a matter of certain things that was going on at the top of the swing. And coming down then, you can just see the blur of the club, the outline of the golf club. He would actually bring the club down pretty good. But my big concern is this. Takeaway position at parallel, when the club is parallel to the ground, compared to downswing position, that's too much of a variation. That's too big a variation. And a lot of players talk about Jim Furyk having a crazy swing and how he changes the swing. Well, actually, if you ever check him at parallel halfway back and parallel to the ground halfway down, his club goes through the exact same point. Exactly the same point. Where we see here, Roberts was not going through the same point. Also, Robert would have a tendency of keeping his head down, and I do definitely think that was a factor from his dad. It was completely your fault, John. He would keep his head down far too much, so we wanted to change that. Anyway, that was before. That was a week ago. Okay? So, he's coming to today's lesson. And well, let me show you what we did last week, in fact. That would make complete sense. Let me show you what we did last week. Last week was a tough session, because what we needed to try and introduce was quite an exaggerated wrist set moving upwards. So I was really trying to get him to move the club toe upwards into this position, so that then the takeaway and the downswing would be coming through the same spots more consistently. We also changed the grip quite a lot last week. Okay, it felt horrible to Robert, disgusting, exaggerated, too much exaggeration. Okay, but I had faith in him, because it kind of struck me as someone who could make changes very quickly indeed, and he is absolutely not disappointed. So, by the way, this swing on the right is the one I want you to wait for. I want you to wait for this in a minute. So, let me show you then, at the start of today's lesson, Robert came in and Storm Doris has now disappeared, so we can actually make we can hit some shots out into the wilderness. So the grip change is way better. He's holding it in the fingers of his left hand to strengthen it up, and we've neutralised the right hand, which is making a massive difference. Just watch here. The takeaway is exaggerated because the club moves upwards first, and you can just see that little movement where the club actually moves on the outside of the ball. And it's an exaggeration for what Robert was doing in the past. That's brilliant as an exaggeration. But it was actually just causing too much of an exaggeration. So when we got to here, the hands would move slightly outwards. However, the club was married up to the hands wonderfully well. Look at already at the top of the swing how that left arm is nowhere near as rigid and bent. And you can already see signs how that club was coming through the same gap. Okay? Almost. We almost had it perfect. So today, first off, was a pat of the back to Roberts. I think he's done an amazing job. He said he's played rubbish golf this week, mixed with great golf shots. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind as long as he's been honest and he's exaggerated it, so hey, fair dues. What we did today then was the idea of moving this club straight back first. So a period of time as it moved away from the golf ball, that club has to come straight back and then hinge. Let me get this four up again. So I think this is just amazing. I really do think this is an amazing change. Again, this is before. This is before. The club goes way too deep and behind, right? Now watch this. Club comes straight back. It then hinges because it can, because we've changed the grip. Is that not just amazing? Is that not just the best change that in a takeaway in a week? And what's great about this is he's complementing it with his downswing. He's complementing how good his takeaway is, with the top of the swing being unbelievable now. There's not as much rigid arm position. The left wrist is nowhere near as cupped. The face isn't as closed. Everything's looking amazing. The club is coming down just on the top side of this circle, which I can more than happily live with. And we're just hitting these little beautiful fades. These little tiny fades. Just really good ball flights. Also, because of this now as well, he's actually starting to lift his head and move around the ball better. To turn into the finish position better. That is one of the nicest changes of a golf swing I've ever seen in a week. All credit to Robert and his persistence and his determination and his ability to change. And his trust. Because that's not an easy trust, because he was hitting it rubbish. But he stuck at it. He's continued. He's worked hard. And now he will reap the rewards by absolutely demolishing his dad next time he plays it. Hopefully his dad's not watching. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, hopefully you will hit like. Comment below what do you think about the swing change. And if you're new to Quest Golf channel and not seen the content before, hit that subscribe button. We do golf lesson videos down here at Quest Golf Academy at Prairie Sports Village. I'll keep you up to date with Robert's progress, because I think single figures is on the cards. I really do. I think he swung it awesome today. And with a bit of time and dedication, some work on his longer stuff. That was a 5-iron, by the way, at the end there. He weren't doing it with the kids' club. Doing it with the big boys' club. Wait till we start doing it with driver. That's when we're going to see some awesome results. Robert, you've done awesome. Smashed it completely. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Vanilla, stay tuned. Your son is on your back. And we'll see you all soon.